Okay, I'm going to talk about a person, and it's going to sound like I'm putting them down, okay? But it's not my intention, okay? It's no one here or anything, so some of you are like, please don't be me. No, it's not you, okay? It's going to sound like I'm being mean, but I'm not intending to be, okay? So I was at Walmart, and you can already tell where this might be going. I was at Walmart, and I noticed this person, and I actually noticed them before I saw them because, well, if you haven't noticed, I have a big nose, which means I can smell everything. But you don't even need a big nose to have noticed her. So she steps onto my aisle, and it was so bad, the smell. I thought it was rude to cover my nose, but I was like trying to smell my hand, okay? Because I was like, okay, I can't take this. It's so bad. And so she smelled really awful. And then, so I turned to look, and she was talking, and well, it made me think of this verse in the Bible. So there's this thing, he's writing to his lover. In fact, if you look, it says lover, okay? So he's writing to this compliments to the lady that he likes, and he says this, your teeth are like a flock of sheep just shorn. So in other words, your teeth are really white, okay? And then he says, each has its twin, not one of them is alone, which is a funny compliment to me. In other words, both, teeth have twins, okay? So he's like, your teeth, you've got all of them, all right? That's basically what he just said. Now, the reason that made me think of that is because I don't know if any of her teeth had its twin, okay? And I was like, what happened there? And so she didn't have those, and her hair was yellow, and her clothes were falling apart, and she didn't talk to her kids. She barked at her kids. That's how I know she was angry at life, because this is what I mean. So she'd be like, now you put that down right now. And you sit down right now, right. It just started. I was like, wow, this person is not a happy person. And apparently I can't bark. Okay. What it made me, okay, so it sounds like I'm making fun, and because, it was not a good situation, obviously. But what it actually did, I felt bad because what I imagined was, there was a time when she was your age. Like, she would look like she was in her 30s. I'm in my 30s, so she's about my age, okay? There was a time when she was like you. And had all of her teeth had a twin, okay? All of them did. And I just thought, like, okay, so her dream as a 15-year-old was not this. Nobody's dream is that. And what was sad to me is how did she get there? And I don't know, maybe she really likes it, but I don't think so. Not the way she was talking, okay? And when you're cussing at your kids in Walmart, there's just not a good situation going on there. So I just thought, how does that happen? And I felt bad for her. I wish I could help her. I didn't know what to do. You need Jesus. No, I couldn't do that. I felt like that. And then, so think about this, and I think you would agree with this. Everybody ends up somewhere in life. You're going to end up somewhere. In fact, you are somewhere in your life, and you're going to end up somewhere. In a year, you're going to be somewhere, like relationally, like in relationships, you're going to be somewhere in a year. In 5 years, you're like, yeah, still single, okay? Yeah, but you're going to be somewhere in 5 years, 10 years, okay? You're going to be somewhere in relationships. You're going to be somewhere financially. I know some of you don't even think about that right now. Some of you are. You're going to be somewhere in that. You're going to be somewhere emotionally. Like some of you, you're already in emotional basket case. Maybe you're not going to still be there. I don't know. But you're going to be somewhere emotionally. You're going to be somewhere spiritually. Your relationship with God is going to be somewhere in a year, in 5 years. And I hope that for you, and this isn't really the topic for tonight, but I hope that for you, in 10 years, your relationship with God is stronger than it is now. I know that statistically that's not the case for the majority of people your age when you get old. But I hope that you're not that. I hope that but you're going to end up somewhere in life. And we no one disagrees with that. And I don't think you'll disagree with the next thing either. A few people end up somewhere on purpose. So everybody's going to end up somewhere. You're going to end up somewhere in your life, but some people are going to end up somewhere on purpose. Now, maybe the lady with no twin teeth was an extreme example. Okay, like I could talk about prison. That would be an extreme example. Okay, no one at 15 goes, man, by the time I'm 25, I just want to be in prison. I don't want to have to do nothing. Just sit in prison. That's it, okay? So we're like, you don't have to do anything? Right. If you don't want to do anything, go to prison. She's seriously considering this, right? All right. Yeah, and that's no one's goal. But there's thousands and thousands and thousands of people in prison. But how does... You end up somewhere. Some people end up somewhere on purpose. Now, those are extreme, but you could talk maybe more about being in a destructive relationship. Okay, that might be something you've experienced, okay? It's like, how did I end up in this relationship? How do people end up in a job that they hate for the rest of their life? Like, no one right now in your life, you're looking at your future going, I just want to work something I hate so much. I want to dread work every day. I want to get up in the morning and go, oh, today's going to suck. And just go through my day. That's how I want my life to be. And the only day that's good is Saturday every week. That's the only good day because I have to work all the rest. And I can barely afford the crummy apartment that I live in because of the crummy job I have. That's just good. No, that's not what anybody wants, okay? But there's a lot of people living that. Some of you are like, yeah, I see my family living that, okay? So there's a lot of that's going on. And a few people end up somewhere on purpose, though. And what I mean by that, think about most good things in your life don't happen by accident. Well, I just accidentally made all this money. I don't know. How did I just accidentally got this nice thing. It just happened by accident. I mean, most good things, even relationships, good relationships don't really happen by accident. They happen on purpose. You got there. If you look at like people that we would consider successful like in culture. So I was just trying to think of like, what's that grand thing? So, okay, an Olympic gold medal. Okay, that seems pretty successful, okay? And like if I'm going these grandiose things. People with no teeth, gold medal. All right, so let's think about that other stream. So can you imagine, here he is, just finished, got the gold, standing there, okay, and he walks off and walks over and there's an interviewer and they're like, so what did you do to get here? Well, actually, it was kind of an accident. I mean, I was sitting on my couch eating donuts, and this guy showed up and said, we need you to swim in the Olympics. And I was like, well, I know how to swim. And next thing you know, here I am. And okay, that's not anybody's story. Their story is something quite different. If somebody gets there, they have something, and we talked about this last week. We started this discussion. They have vision. At some point, probably when they were younger than you, they saw someone on TV on that podium, and they go, that's going to be me, and they got a vision. And they begin to dream about it, and they begin to think about it, and they go, I can swim, I want to be good, I'm fast, and I can do this, or I can run, right? And then they begin to train, and there was a vision, and they kept going, but they had vision. And those people that have accomplished these things have this in common, that they have vision. So we're learning about vision, because we need it. If we're going to get places, if we're going to do things, if you want to get somewhere on purpose, you need vision. So I'm going to help us just learn what vision is a little bit more this week. Here's a little bit about vision, okay? Vision is born, we start to have vision when you become consumed with the tension between what is and what could or should be. When you look at what is in your life, okay, so here I am, and I look at what could be. Okay, so I see something in the distance. Okay, I could have that. Or I should be doing, or I could. Okay, you see that? When I look at what I am, and I see what I could or should have or do, and there's something that gets tension in me. I start to have like a desire for, I really want to actually do that. I want to get there. Then vision starts to happen. So let's get practical. You may look at your grades right now. The sighs in the room are always great when we talk about grades. Your grades right now, okay? And it is what is. And then you think about what could be, okay? Or maybe even what should be, okay? You're like, okay, now that's what should. So you're like, you're going to have to go a lot further off to get where I should be, okay? But there's this thing. And so now a lot of people, they know where they are and they go, yeah, who cares about that? That's not vision. That's just knowing that you're not doing it, okay? But when you look at this and you get some tension, you've got some desire, you've got something that says, you know what? That is what I want. I see that. I know I could have better than this. Then you begin to have vision. Maybe it's you've been in bad relationships and you go, you know, there has to be better than this. And you get a vision for good relationships. There's some tension between what is currently in your life and what you believe could be. So what I wanted to do, and I told you we were going to do this last week, was we were going to start talking about ending up somewhere on purpose. Ending up somewhere on purpose. Now, actually, I wrote this in my notes. This was prepared to talk about this, and as I was doing it, I thought, but there's actually something better than that. So you can write this down, and this is good. In fact, if you're like still not even sure about God, like you maybe not even be a Christian yet, you're here, you're kind of curious, you can just listen to the rest of the message and filter out the God part, and your life will be better because you'll learn how to end up somewhere on purpose. But I actually think there's something even better than just ending up somewhere on purpose. And that would be this. For me, following God's vision for my life. Now, that's going to get me somewhere on purpose, but it's not just my purpose, it's His. Because I think there's something different than going, okay, I want to do that. That's my vision. I picked it. I'm not ending up there on purpose. That's a way to live. But I personally, and maybe you do too, want to figure out what God's vision is and end up there on purpose. So I'm going to talk specifically about this, but it's still going to tell us how to get somewhere on purpose. So there's two things. We're going to talk about two things. I may give you a bonus if we have time at the end. I don't know if I'll have time, but two things for sure that we got to do if we want to follow God's vision for your life or end somewhere on purpose. Oh, and by the way, I just wanted to show you the reason why I think this is better is because that verse we read last week. We read this one last week. Where there is no vision, when I don't have vision, the people are unrestrained. That means I don't know which direction to go. I just go here. I just go there. I don't have restraint in my paths, okay? But happy is he who keeps the law. When we keep the law, when we're following God's vision, we're happy. And so I think that is the way we want to go. So how do we follow God's vision for our life? Here it is. First, you got to get vision. You have to get vision, okay? And that's like, well, duh, okay? But you have to have vision if you're going to do it. So how do I get vision? That's what we need to figure out first. So I'm going to help you understand how you start to get vision. And here's one of the first keys to that is you just ask yourself this. What bothers me? When I look at my life, what bothers me? When I look at what's going on is bothering me. So one time somebody came to me and said, my relationship with my parents is really bad. We fight all the time. And I don't want it to be that way anymore. And I don't know how to change it. So this is what was happening in them. They saw something that bothered them. This is where they were. This is what is. And it bothered them that they were fighting with their parents all the time. And they could envision a life where they weren't that way. So they said, this is what bothers me. And they began to clarify around that what they hoped could be different. Vision starts to happen. Do you see that? Let's see, what else could I talk about? There was a young lady in our youth group one time. No one in her family had ever gone to college. They all worked hourly, low-paying jobs for as long as she could know. And she got a vision, though. She said, this is what has always been in my family, but I believe I can do something better. And she started making the grades, and she got into college, and she changed her future because she got a vision. Okay, so what bothers me about my life? And some of you go, a whole lot bothers me about my life. Okay, so maybe you can start to clarify there. So this is a good question. You know, anybody could ask this question, okay? But then I want to give you, I think, a better question to take this even further to get good vision for your life, okay? Here's a better question. What bothers God about my life? What bothers God about my life? So let me ask you this. Do you think it bothers God if you are depressed and unhappy? Yeah. Not like he's mad at you, like, what are you doing being unhappy, okay? What are you doing? Like, what is he, from Boston? I don't know what's going on there. Okay, so, no, he's not a gangster. No, so, but I was thinking about this. Okay, so I have a little girl, okay? Think about, some of you have met Emery, okay? And I don't know why I did that. She's bigger than that. Okay, so Emery, and so she's very cute. She loves singing, and one of her favorite songs is she goes around the house all day, and she's going, I may never march in the infantry run, and then okay, she does that one, right. See, they know it. They're church kids. Okay, so, and I have to do this, or she gets upset, right? So she's doing that, going around the house. Well, it's dinner time the other day, and she's singing that, and she goes up. She's got a high chair, right? So it's steps going up kind of high. And so she's climbing up her high chair, and she gets to the top, and then she goes, I may never march. And then as soon as she tried to march, she missed the step. She's on the top, and she goes, boom, boom, boom. And I hear her head go on the ground. Yeah, on the tile, on the floor. And, she started screaming. Of course, I ran over, and I scooped her up, and I was holding her, and I hated it so much because my child was hurting. Now, listen, if you have put your faith in Jesus, this is what he says, that you are God's child. So if you are hurting in your life and you are constantly stuck in a sadness, in a hurtful state, guess what? You're his child, and that bothers him. And what you need is vision that can change. You may say, no, I'm not there now, but can you see a you in the future, a you maybe really close or maybe down the road that is free of that is happy, that's free of, maybe for you it's anxiety and you're always stressed out, and you can see, okay, that would bother God because he says I'm supposed to have peace. He says I'm supposed to have joy. So can I see a me that can handle stress? Can you see that? Maybe that's a vision that you need to get for your life. Do you think it bothers God if you are stuck in the same sin over and over again, and you keep trying to quit and you can't, and you keep trying to quit and you can't? You think that bothers him? Absolutely it bothers him. Again, he's not gangster God mad at you. He's like, what you doing? I'm going to get you. Okay, that's not the vision of God that you need to get. You need to get a vision of a God that it bothers him, that he wants you to get free. Why? Because, let me just give you an example. Romans 6:18 says, you have been set free from sin. Jesus died so that you can be free of sin. So when we're stuck in it, that's not what he wants us to do. So we need to get vision. Some of you need to get vision that I may have been trapped in this, but I can see that there's going to be a day. I see it. There's going to be a day when I don't struggle with this anymore. When I can go in my room with my phone and not go to that same site I've always gone to. Whoop, we got personal. Okay, when I can see that's going to happen, where I'm going to be free. Where on the weekend I don't think about putting that in my body anymore. Okay, when I'm going to be free. You need to see that. You need to have vision for it. If you don't have vision for it, you're never going to get there. You need to believe that you can get free. So, if we want to get vision, in my opinion, we want to get God's vision, okay? So if you don't understand God, get vision. That'll help you. But if we can get God's vision for our life, it'll help us. So 2 ways really fast that you can get God's vision. We've already been kind of talking about them. You may be catching on to them already, but here they are. The 2 ways. You get vision from the Bible, and you're going to go, okay, I knew you were going to say that, or thought you might say that, and whatnot. In fact, I heard someone on Sunday, their fruit basket turnover thing was like, the Bible is boring. I was like, dude, all right. and so he's like, the Bible is boring. And I was like, okay, I understand. There are times when I read this and I'm like, oh my gosh, what are you talking about? Like, who cares? Okay, but on the same hand, the reason when it stopped being boring to me was when I discovered that God would give me vision for my life and how to have a happy and good life through it. So did you know that he talks about friendships? So if you want to get vision, here's a good example. What is God's vision for friendships? So here's where you are. Is that different from what God says friendships could be? Your relationship with your family, is where you are different from where God says it could be? If it is, you need to get vision for what he says it could be. You need to get vision for marriage. And you say, I'm not old enough to have vision for marriage, okay? Yeah, you are. You should think about marriage. Not getting married now. No, that's not at all what I mean. But that should be something that you could see in your future, because that's going to change the way that you do things and behave now. You get vision for that. Do you know the Bible has a lot to say about sex? And that there's a vision. Vision. Is it more awkward when there's less people in the room because it feels more like I'm talking to you? Okay. There's a vision. Okay, so maybe there's where you are and there's what God says he has for you in that area. And it's good, but it's his vision. Could you see if there's a difference, then what you need to do is get God's vision for that in your life. God's vision for money. God's vision. And we could go through all these different areas of your life, whether it be those kind of things, or like success or money or career, or whether it's emotional type things like happiness and peace, and whatever those are. If you see what God's vision is for you in Scripture, and if it's not the same as what is in your life, then you should get vision for being it different, okay? Here's the other area that you can get, way we get vision is you get vision from the Holy Spirit. And he will actually speak vision into your heart. Some of you have experienced this. You felt like God wanted you to do something. You got like a call to do something from God. Right now, I am asking God for vision about some specific things in my life, and he's not giving it to me, but he will when it's time. I know that he will. I just keep asking. I say, God, I need vision about this. I need you to show me where you want me to do, how I'm supposed to do this. He hadn't told me yet. But I can remember very clear times when I got vision from the Holy Spirit. One night, I was just laying in bed. I was trying to go to sleep, okay? I wasn't even asking for it. And all of a sudden, I just got this excitement about, I was about to be a sophomore in college. It was in the summer before my sophomore year. And I just got vision to start a Bible study in my school. And I got up, and I couldn't sleep. It was like, I was up from midnight was when I was trying to go to sleep till 3 a.m, writing down the vision that God had given me, okay? And by the time I graduated, that Bible study was one of the largest student organizations on campus, and it was the largest student-led ministry on campus. We had all these small groups, and it all came from just a vision God spoke to me, which is, by the way, the reason I'm here. Because before I did that Bible study, this was the words that I said, I will never be a pastor. That's exactly what I said. I will never do it. I think God went, sucker. Okay. I don't know. Anyways, so he gave me that vision. And when I experienced ministry, then it changed me. So God will give you vision. And I'm not telling you he's going to tell you to start a Bible study. Okay? He's going to give different people different visions. He's going to give some of you a vision to go to college. He's going to give some of you a vision of what you're going to do with that degree. You know, Landon had a different vision. See, so Landon didn't go to college because God gave him a vision to run a karate studio, and he didn't need to go get all that debt to run the karate studio. He's already doing it, okay? And so he got a different vision. He's going to give you a vision, and he's going to give you dreams and hopes and things, okay? So we need to get God's visions. There's two ways. You get it through his word and learning what it says, and seeing how your life compares to that. And if you're here and what God says is there in his word, then you know that there's somewhere you need to get vision. Or you listen for the Holy Spirit to speak to you directly. You ask him to, and he will. And so that's the first thing. So here's the next thing. We get vision. That's big. Here's number 2. You have to take a step. You have to take a step. There's a difference between vision and dreaming. Dreaming is, boy, wouldn't it be nice if someday this happened? Wouldn't it be nice if I could get into this college? Wouldn't it be nice if I had a good relationship that wasn't a disaster? Wouldn't it be nice if I wasn't poor? Wouldn't it? Okay, that's dreaming. Okay, let me give you a dreaming. I'm still dreaming. This is dreaming. I believe God's going to give me a great relationship. That's dreaming. Wait, what? You just said, I believe God. That's faith. Okay, here we go. This is Jesus' brother, James, says this. Faith by itself, if it is not accompanied by action, is dead. So I can sit here and go, I believe God's going to do this. But if I do not act in faith on what I believe that God's going to do, it's just a dream. It's not vision, and it's not faith. So what we want to do is learn to take a step. So you probably noticed I have steps on the ground, okay? If you can't see them on the back. These are on the ground, right? So I've got all these steps going that way, okay? Because if I get a vision for something, I'm not going to just instantly be there. There's going to be steps along the way. There's going to be acts of faith along the way. There's going to be things that I do. So I don't know any better way to do it than to just illustrate it from my life, okay? So when I decided, or I got vision, okay, that I was going to graduate college with 0 debt. Everybody I knew graduated college with debt. I was going to graduate with 0 debt, okay? And so that started, the vision for that started very young. So I was in high school, and that was something I dreamed about doing. I wanted to graduate college with 0 debt. Now, I was in high school. I can't just be there, okay? I can't just fast forward my life 6 years from my junior year to graduated college, okay? And so, but that meant that I started doing things. I started making sure I took like an ACT prep course so that I could get a better ACT score so I could get a better scholarship. I started making sure that my grades were something. You see, I'm starting taking steps in that direction. I applied to certain schools and not other schools. And I looked at this school and I was like, holy smokes, I'm going to graduate with like $100,000 debt if I go there. I ain't going there. I'm going to go somewhere else, okay? And I said, that school's giving me a scholarship. And hey, that school's really cool. Man, look at their campus. It's amazing. But you know what? They're not giving me enough money. This school's giving me more money. And again, it's just begin to make plans based on that vision that I had, that I was going to graduate with no debt. Then I got in college, and you know what? There was more steps. I stayed in the cheap dorms, okay? And some of my friends were in these like luxury apartments, and I was like, man, that's nice. I don't even have a bathroom in my room. I got to go down the hall, okay? But I was going towards the vision. Okay, when I was my senior year, I had to move into another apartment to go do student teaching in another town, and I stayed in the ghetto of Dallas, okay? I heard gunshots multiple times at night. I mean, I remember I was on my air mattress, okay, because I was too cheap to buy a mattress, okay? I was saving my money. I was sleeping on my air mattress. All of a sudden I hear, boom, boom, boom. I get up. I go in the living room. My roommate come out. He's like, did you hear that? I was like, I heard that. Do we call police? I don't know. We're like staying low, because like below the windows, you know? It's like, what if there's more? Okay, we were just, whatever we could do, because the vision was staying out of debt. And it was a step, and it was a step. And there was, okay, I wasn't always 100%. Yeah, I went out to eat with friends and spent money on things. It wasn't that crazy. But I was careful not to take big steps in the wrong direction. Because there's going to be times you have an opportunity to step this way. I could have said, oh, but that school is so much cooler, and this stuff's going on. I'm going to go there. And it would have been a step this way, making it further and further impossible for me to get there. Now I got there. I graduated with no debt, and it's been amazing, because all of my friends graduated with like $20,000, $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 in debt, and they're still paying on it 10 years later, and I haven't paid any. It's wonderful. Now, I'm not telling you that's what you have to do. That was the vision that God gave me. But you need to get vision. You need to think about those things. You get vision, and then you take steps towards vision. So this is what we do. When we're taking a step, we ask ourselves, as we're going through our life, is this a step toward or away from the vision? Is what I'm about to do a step toward my vision, or is it a step away from my vision? Some of you need to get a vision for good relationships. You do. You need to get a good vision for that, because so many people experience such bad relationships. So many people experience not only bad relationships in high school, but they get in college, and then they graduate. They get engaged. They're like, oh, it's beautiful. And no one, when they're engaged, goes, oh, I just can't wait till we've been married for 1 or 2 years, and we hate each other's guts and get divorced, okay? But it happens all the time. Well, you need to get a vision. You need to get a vision for it. And then what will happen is you will take different steps because of it. Tracy, come here for a second. I want to use her because she was my vision. Okay, yeah. Mm-hmm. All right. Okay, so she's going to come over here at the end of my steps here. Okay, so you got to see this. So here's the vision. I'm going to give you a vision. Okay, you should envision yourself in a relationship with somebody that loves Jesus with all their heart, that pursues God with you, doesn't pull you away, takes you towards, that when you want to worship, you don't feel awkward about worshiping because they're worshiping just like you are. That when you someday have kids, you don't have to wonder if they're going to want to go to church or not, because they're going to be saying, what do you mean I'm not going to church? We're going to church, okay? They're going to raise your kids to believe in Jesus. You're going to have that. That's what you should envision. But if that is what you envision, what is that going to mean? That you are going to take steps in your life that way. And you're not going to take steps that go away. Because there will be steps that take you away from that vision. So for me, my life, that meant there was a lot of time I was single. Well, how does single help me get in a good relationship? Because I hadn't even met her. When I was in college, I didn't even know she was a person. Like, I didn't know she existed, okay? I hadn't even met her. Besides, I'm 7 years older, and if I met her when I was 20, that would have just been weird, okay? So, that meant that there were some steps. She would have been like 13. I was 20. Okay, but it's not that weird now. She's 25. I'm 33. That's not weird. Okay. 23, whatever. She's 26, sorry. Let's keep going in the illustration here. So, that meant there was one time in college I started dating this girl, and my college roommate came up to me and said, dude, you know you shouldn't date her. She doesn't believe in God like you do. And I ignored him for like 2 weeks, and it kept like hitting me in the head, so eventually I broke up with her. And that was, but you know what that was? That was a step towards this. If I would have stayed in that relationship, do you know what that would have been? A huge step in this direction. In fact, you take enough steps in this direction, and you know what happens? Just be blunt. That never happens. You will never have the vision if you keep going in the wrong direction. And I see people, and they say, yeah, I want to be in a relationship with a good Christian person, and I want to have that. And then they just date people who don't even follow God. That is going to take you to where you never experienced that. And then we could do that with 1,000 different things. So financially, I want to be free. Thank you. She's beautiful, y'all. My vision right there. It could be financially, that's something that I want. I want to go to this college. I want to experience that. I want to do that. I have vision from God to start my own business. I have vision to do this. I feel like God has called me to start this. And then you start taking steps in this direction. You can get so far in this direction that you will never experience the vision that God has for you. And no amount of, I just believe it's going to happen is going to do you any good, because your steps of faith were away from what you said you believed and instead of towards the vision God gave you. So what do we need? You need to get vision. Here's the bonus one, okay? Write it down. When you get vision from God, write it down. Oh, it's so helpful. If you'll just write it down. In fact, if you would do this week, just pick a couple of things that are on your heart that bother you or you believe bothers God. Write them down and write down what you believe the vision is. I believe I can be free of this thing and it's never going to happen. And what is it going to look like for that? Or I believe that I'm going to get into this school. I'm going to do this. I'm believing for that. I'm going to have this much scholarship, and write it down. And then you get that vision. You write it down. That was my third bonus one. And then you take, what's my next step? God, what's my next step? God, I'm thinking about doing this. Is this a step away or is this a step towards? And just listen to what he says to your heart. You'll begin to get towards the vision. And if you can get vision about things in your life, you're going to end up somewhere on purpose. And that's what I want for you. I don't want to see you in Walmart with half your teeth missing. Please, in 10 years, okay? That's not what I know. I don't want to see you get in a point in your life and you go, how did I get up over here? How did I end up over here? This is not how I wanted my life to go. And it was because one of two things. You either didn't have vision to begin with, so what did you do? You just wandered. And I tried that with my life, and I tried that, and I tried that. And so, of course, you never got where you should be because you never had vision. Or you had vision, but you kept ignoring it and taking steps in other ways. So we're going to end with just a short time of prayer, and because maybe you just need vision on something in your life, or maybe you're in a place and you go, I can't even see how it could get better. I feel like I've already walked 1,000 steps this way. Well, let's begin to believe that God's going to give you vision of where you can be and where you can go, and let him give you vision for that. So we'll just pray with you. If you need prayer for anything that's going on in your life, we'll pray, and we'll be dismissed in just a moment. Father, I thank you that you will give us vision, and what you tell us to do, what you give us that vision for, you will empower us to be able to do it. I pray that you would just speak to everyone about the things that things that you have for them to do. In Jesus' name, amen.